The world is waking up. People all over the world start witnessing the effects of climate change. Extreme weathers, droughts, severe wildfires. We can look at the recent example of wildfires in Hollywood. Rising sea levels. The pressure now is on how to find cleaner energy sources in order to prevent further worsening of the situation. This issue is now being addressed by United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the main goal of which is reaching a balanced growth while taking care of nature. But as the awareness increases in the developed states, the biggest share of emissions start coming from developed countries. 75% of all emissions come from developing countries. This is a giant share. And this is also a drastic change which happened in the last decade. In the past, Western countries were the most contributors to the global emissions. But this isn't about a blame. It's about understanding the unique hurdles which nations face. This video explores why switching to renewable energy and implementing environmental regulations is very hard in developing countries. Despite the joint commitment to the better future, developing countries face enormous obstacles on their path to renewable energy. This isn't just about technical issues or poor management. This is deeply rooted in economics, politics, and even geography. First, the elephant in the room: money. Renewable energy projects are really expensive. Solar farms, wind turbines require massive initial investments, literally suitcases of money. It's not just about the equipment, it's all infrastructure and other side expenses. Think of offshore wind farms, specialized ships, underwater cables, highly skilled workers. These all expenses can equal to a fortune of a small country, especially a development one. But it's not just about the cost of the hardware, it's the financial environment. Interest rates are often sky high, and banks in these countries see long-term renewable projects as risky and unreliable. International investors with access to cheap loans are often hesitant on entering in these markets because of uncertain regulations. They are usually scared away of the lack of the regulations on the environmental issues, and that's why they choose to invest in other projects. Then there are the institutional and political hurdles. Even with international pressure to green, many development countries still struggle to implement good energy policies. Big corporations, especially the ones tied with fossil fuel, can lobby against renewable energy. They delay or even stop the implementation of these important measures. Political instability, corruption, and lack of accountability further scare the investors. In countries torn by conflict, any attempts to start big projects are buried due to safety risks. And there are many of these countries nowadays. Instead of a long-term green projects, investors may seek the industries where the expected revenue will outweigh the possible risks, or will even choose other countries to invest their money in. Even if the money and political will are there, some countries face unique technological, environmental, and geographical challenges that make the transition incredibly difficult. Not every place is ideal for every type of renewable energy. Solar power panels rely on constant sunlight, making it impractical in snowy or regions with a high concentration of clouds or fog. Wind turbines need open, windy landscapes. Try installing them somewhere in jungles or Siberian forests. Lack of infrastructure is another major obstacle. Underdeveloped railways, roads, airports, and other parts of infrastructure make it difficult and expensive to transport and install renewable energy systems. Even if technology works, getting it there is a nightmare. The availability of well-known rare earth metals such as lithium, cobalt, or others, which are vital for the green shift, also relies on the territory of the land and where it is geographically located. Finally, there is the issue of energy reliability. Sun and wind are bad allies if you want to get continuous source of energy. What happens when the sun doesn't shine or the wind doesn't blow? We just simply don't get electricity. Many industries need a constant, reliable power supply, and our modern batteries, which can store the energy we get from the renewable sources of energy, are still too expensive and can lose up to 20% of the electricity gained by these sources, so thus their use in developing countries is questionable. Finally, how can we deal with all these problems? How can we overcome the barriers, and what can be the solutions for this? So I think that even though the barriers are significant, but they are not insurmountable. Overcoming them requires a complex strategy, political will, and public support. Solving these diverse financial, political, technological, and geographical constraints requires a flexible approach. It's not just only about investing in renewable energy technologies. It's about controlling, upgrading step by step every element in the chain of green energy adoption. New infrastructure, modern and flexible regulations, improved energy efficiency, and development public institutions are crucial. The transition to a green economy must be fair, and the long-term benefits of renewable energy should benefit everyone, especially the ones who suffered the most from climate change. Thanks for watching, and let's try to change the world for the better.